y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am Sigourney Rosario, where I encourage individuals to boss up in their business, boss up in their self-love, and y'all already know we have got to boss up in our faith. Today I have my tea, and y'all, I still drink my tea with a straw. I don't know why I still do that. Like, I did that when I had braces, but I still continue to do it for whatever reason. But yes, y'all, this tea is so delicious, so delicious. So today I'm going to be discussing being your authentic self. Hopefully it's not too like crazy with the lighting. I'm on my island and I know like it's a lot of sun coming in. Let me actually close those blinds. Un momento. Yeah, that's a little bit better, right? Okay, that's what I think too. So today we're going to be discussing how to be your authentic self, how to show up in the world like you deserve, and how, more importantly, how God created you. So a little bit of my journey and what I've been finding when I've been studying this is like the world of social media can really teach you that you have to be somebody that you're not. Everybody has this persona in which they want to be perceived as, instead of just being yourself. Just be yourself and life is so much easier. And I know like my journey with it is, I think sometimes we want people to perceive us a certain way. So if we show up in our authentic selves, we feel like, you know, we won't get the perception that we want. And so for me, I kind of talked about my journey, about how I always struggled with perfectionism, trying to be perfect, trying to be this, trying to be that, trying to be this and that and that and this. And it's like, no, I'm not perfect. I am the farthest thing from perfect, and I never want to portray perfection. And so I think for me, for the longest, I struggled with perfectionism and just showing up and not really showing the behind the scenes, not showing the struggles, not really showing, you know, the down times in my life, but instead just showing my highlight reel, which most people do anyway. But I just think it's something very authentic about showing your down seasons or showing the things that aren't the most glamorous. And I connect the most with people who are real, who are honest, and who just keep it 100 with you and be like, girl, it's not all of this. It's really not. I know I look like I'm popping, but girl, I'm not. And so I love content creators. I love YouTubers. I love influencers who show you the real. And I just have been in this season just really showing people the real. And one thing, like I said previously, like I just got to show up as myself. And I really don't really struggle with it, because I mean, I'm still in like the beginning stages of this thing. Like I'm still getting my feet wet with it. So it's really not like a huge thing to me, but I just want to show up and do more like behind the scenes content. I want y'all to see like the ups and downs of my life, just being a little bit more vulnerable. And I kind of have already told y'all already know, naturally I'm a private person. Naturally I don't open up, but I want to kind of get back into it. And so as I encourage myself to show up authentically, I want you to do the same. And I think that it's important that you do that. One of the main reasons why I feel like it's important is because you connect more with people. And I don't know where I heard this saying from. I can't remember who said it, but somebody said like, people connect with you. And if you're not yourself, there's a disconnect. Like somebody needs to hear your story. Somebody needs to hear your testimony. Somebody needs to hear your accent. Somebody needs to hear or see your body figure. Like you always want to show up as yourself, because there's a niche, there's an audience for yourself. And if you're trying to be like this person, that person, this person, it's not going to work. And more importantly, in business, if you are like an entrepreneur, a content creator, or somebody who's just trying to do like a side hustle, y'all, it's draining trying to be somebody else. Like I remember when I first started off, y'all, I was listening to everybody's advice. So if they said post every single day, I would post every single day, and that never worked out for me. If somebody would say like post twice a week, that wouldn't work out for me. If somebody said use this type of thumbnail, do this type of engaging activity in your videos, do this type of thing, do that type of thing, read this book, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, I was like, no. This is why I literally took a break from reading business books, because it became so overwhelming for me. I was like, you know what? I'm reading like to escape. I don't need to be hearing all these 100 million tips about what I need to do to grow my brand. And so honestly, that's kind of why I'm into like fiction books and non-fiction books when it comes down to like biographies. I love reading biographies. I love reading, like currently I'm reading The Hate That You Give. Y'all know that book. Y'all know that book. If you know, then you know. So I'm actually reading that book. I'm almost done with it. But it became overwhelming just trying to be like somebody else. Like, I know it may work for you and your brand, but for me, it just doesn't work for my lifestyle. And a lot of people that I was listening to, they do entrepreneurship full time. So if I'm trying to keep up with them, it's impossible when I have a full-time job on top of entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? And so you just got to figure out what works best for you. And I think it's just very important that you hear from God about your situation and you really and truly like show up as yourself. There is no other human better than you. There is no other person whose life is better than you. And I always refer to like J. Cole. He's one of my favorite rappers, but he always says like love yours in that song. It always talks about like there's always going to be somebody that you perceive is better, but there's no other life better than yours. And I absolutely love that song. And it's the truth. Like, love whatever God has given you. Love whatever you have, whatever season you're in, whatever your personality is, because there's somebody who needs to hear you. They ain't trying to hear Sally down the street. They ain't trying to hear Moesha from, you know, down the street. They trying to hear your voice and your story. And so it can be difficult because a lot of times we feel like we may be judged if we are authentic selves, but if they judging you, that's their issue. So you just gotta really walk in your truth. You gotta walk in your truth. And when I think about like, when I start to lose track of who I am, or when I feel like I'm kind of straying away from who Sigourney is, I always go back to like the young Sigourney, like the young girl. Like, how was she? And in like middle school and elementary school, I was super bubbly, always talking, baby. I always got in trouble for talking, girl. Talk. I was outgoing. I was super friendly. I was super happy all the time. I always wanted to be doing something, being active. I always wanted to like talk to people and just like encourage people, be there for them. And so I'm just coming back to that authentic part of me and not trying to be this other person. And I think sometimes if we go back to like the younger version of ourselves, that'll make us realize how far we've strayed from our authentic self. And I don't know, y'all, I really just want to encourage women to just love yourself. Like, love yourself and love your personality. Sometimes we think there's only a space for extroverts and there's only a space for bubbly people, but some of the most content creators that I connect with personally are not the extra people. They're not the loudest people. They're like the super calm people, you know, and it's calming to watch calm people. I don't know. It's like the background music is a vibe. The low voice is a vibe. Like, I'm like, girl, I rock with you. And she's not extra, she's not loud, but she's just a whole quiet vibe, and it relaxes me down. And so I think that there's a space for you. You don't have to be extrovert, you don't have to be introvert, you don't have to be, you know, super bubbly, you don't have to be super quiet, you don't have to be whatever you are not. Walk in your authentic purpose, walk in your authentic, you know, way that you move, the way that God created you to be. And when you do that and you dress in a way that feels good to you, and you perform in a way that looks good to you, and you style your hair, style your nails in a way that looks authentic to you, you just feel so much confidence. You feel so much confidence. And I just think if we had more women who actually were their authentic self and who would stop comparing themselves to people on social media and realize that you are enough, this whole world would shake. This whole world would shake and tremble. This whole world would be turned upside down if women actually knew who they were and their identity in Christ. This tea is so freaking good, y'all. Comment down below your favorite tea. I really am into yogi tea. I feel like they have the best tea. Point blank period. Point blank period. I do use sometimes like loose leaf tea, but lately I've just been real lazy and I've been really vibing with yogi. And I like the small little reminders. Like, it just be, you be needing some of these I be like, That really touched my heart right there. But yeah, so I just wanted to hop on. Just wanted to encourage all the women, all the beautiful women out there to always be yourself, love yourself, treat yourself good, and just to realize that you are enough. You don't need to be nobody else. You don't need to look like nobody else. You don't need to act like nobody else. Just be yourself, and people will be drawn to your authentic self. People are drawn to that. And I just want to encourage you to always remind yourself of the younger version of yourself when you feel yourself kind of, you know, starting to lose the sight of what's important. And yeah, if you need encouragement, or you know somebody else who may need encouragement, please write into my foundation, Letters for Life, where I encourage people by writing a free handwritten letter of encouragement. As always, I love you, but most importantly though, God loves you. I will see y'all on my next video. Bye, you guys.